Getting you classroom ready. Your kids, even you, might be feeling a little bit anxious about this time. Now, joining me is Dr. Elizabeth McIngvale, director of the OCD Institute of Texas, and really an expert in this field. So we are honored to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in. So just talk about, I know that you deal with very complex cases, but in cases that might not be so complex, or parents who don't have any experience dealing with OCD or anxiety, what are the symptoms that a parent should be looking out for?
Yeah, it's a great question. And what I always tell people is they never start complex, right? It tends to be that it starts a little bit more of like, is this a quirk? Is this something we should be concerned about? And then it tends to slowly build up, right? So the earlier we can catch anything, the better. Health, medical, mental health, you name it. And so some of the early signs and symptoms I want you to look for is your child starting to avoid things they previously didn't avoid? Are they starting to ask what sounds like reassurance questions? Are you starting to see that they're getting a little bit anxious, right? Most people know the visible signs of anxiety. So, maybe they're a little bit fidgety, or they're struggling with sleep, or they're not wanting to eat as much, but you're starting to see changes in themselves. Think about how you experience anxiety, right? All of us have anxiety to some degree during COVID. We experienced it on different levels, right?
That's true, and people are so much more open to talking about it because of that.
Totally, and so much more aware of what that might look like. And so start to kind of think about, hey, does this behavior seem a little bit different, right? A little bit out of the norm. And so some anxiety is totally normal. It's healthy. It's good.
That's what I was going to point out, is that a lot of kids are going to feel nervous going back to school. So how do we know when it's kind of crossing a line into being a mental health problem?
That's right. So, early on, first week, second week, we would expect some anxiety. But what we don't want to see is we don't want to see kids start to withdraw. So start to not want to go to school, stop eating, start to have these behavior that you're like, oh, this could be problematic. But then, of course, does it continue, right? So kind of think about a first date. When you go, you're anxious, right? But after you are on the date for a few minutes or a little bit, right, you start to calm down, you start to enjoy yourself. If you're seeing that child not start to regulate and that anxiety continues or it's prolonged, we want to start to look at it and address it.
So what are some tips for parents who are, have the child who's a little bit anxious going back to the classroom? What are some tips for them?
Yeah, so of course, like general anxiety, if it's like, something that you don't necessarily think warrants attention, you want to be thoughtful about making sure kids have routine and schedule, and making sure that we're transparent with kids, right? So sometimes change is really difficult, especially for kiddos who are going to middle school and they're going to have a locker for the first time, or they're going to be switching classrooms, right? Really helping them kind of have some structure, understand what it looks like so that we can eliminate surprises is great. But of course, if you see that anxiety continues, never in my career have I had a parent say, we came too early, or I wish we wouldn't have sought treatment when we did early on. But instead, every day I hear parents say, I wish we would have come sooner, right? I wish that so the important thing is that treatment works. Treatment is amazing. And in a short amount of time with effective treatment for anxiety, OCD, or a related disorder, your child can be back fully functioning.
What about the opposite though? When somebody, and I know you've had experience with this, when somebody has done years of therapy and they've done countless treatments and they think, but it's not going to work for me.
That's right.
My condition is special. It's different. It's not going to work for me. What do you have to say to those people?
Yeah, I've lived experience. I've shared that openly in the community, and I was one of those people, and it was because I was getting improper treatment, right? So what I want to say is that effective treatment is available, and it really does work. And so if treatment hasn't worked, we want to think about, were you with the right clinician? Were you engaging in what we call evidence-based care? That means like the right treatment for your disorder that we know is going to be the most successful. And then, of course, did you have the right level of care, right? At our clinic, we go all the way up to residential level of care, which is the highest level of care for OCD. And so we need to be thoughtful about, do you need something a little bit more intense versus something that would be more like a traditional outpatient or support group type of intervention.
And I've heard you use the expression, there's hope to cope. Yes. So there is always an option, a pathway, a revenue to get the treatment that you need.
Yeah, help and hope are always available. And the thing I want to reiterate quickly is that I think so many times back to school we think about the kids, but parents deal with anxiety too. And it's a transition for you as a parent as well. So whether you're a parent, a child, if you're anyone living with anxiety, help and hope are available. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Do we all feel very seen right now? That was perfect. Dr. Elizabeth McIngvale, thank you so much for joining us. And you can scan the QR code that's on your screen right now. We've been covering school districts all over Houston as kids go back to school. If you scan that, it's going to take you to our Classroom Ready section on click2houston.com, and you can find what local districts are doing to welcome back students, as well as interviews just like this one.